afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this month's webinar. So technology, as we see today, is moving faster than ever, but the conversation is no longer only about creating faster systems or building smarter solutions. The real question is, how do we innovate in ways that remain valuable, responsible, and sustainable over time? Now, this shift in thinking is what brings us to today's topic, which is sustainable technology with renewal. Now, today we will explore how innovation and sustainability can work together to create solutions that not only solve today's challenges, but also support long-term impact. I'm Stephanie Alfred, and I will be hosting today's session. But joining me today is Mr. Lucky Anumata. He will be sharing his insight and perspective on this topic. Mr. Lucky, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate you. So, to get us started, we would like to ask, can you please tell us the narrative surrounding sustainable technology with renewal?
All right, thank you for that. As we all know, that technology is dynamic. Today's digital world, we have millions of electronic devices that are coming up and going. We have telecom devices that are being discarded yearly, a lot of them, because people are upgrading. As the technology and the devices are upgrading, people tend to go with that narrative, getting the latest. So while this technology continues to advance, the environmental impact is what people that do not look at or talk about. The electronic waste, the e-waste that has been generated because of trying to upgrade and discard the old one. So it's a global impact, not only a Nigerian factor. So that is why we look at this narrative and how is it affecting the environment and what can we do in order to make sure that we mitigate the impact, negative impacts of the society.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing that narrative with us. So now, as organizations continue to adopt these new technologies, how do you think we can balance innovation with environmental responsibility?
All right. We have to look at, like I said earlier, where are these wastes coming from? We have electronic devices, millions of them, that generate them from trying to catch up with the trends. We have devices that are being discarded, even when they are still usable. People tend to go to the latest version. You know, sometimes it's a kind of environmental factor or peer factor in order to make sure that I belong to the latest. So because of this, we have some improper disposal system. You know, use it, you dump it, you get another one. And most times you have money to get it. Even if you don't have money, some of our sales people today, they have different ways. Okay, you can pay instrumentally, even if when you don't have money, just to get that device and you discard the old one. You know, when you come to our homes, these e-waste are being generated when you have something like televisions. You know, in those days we used to use CRT, cathode to. Today nobody's using that. What happened to the old one? Just discard it, get the new one. Even the smart, the flat screens that we have today, upgrade to kind of smart one. You know, if you don't have it, you don't belong. So people tend to get these devices, and because of from here we have a lot of e-waste that's being generated. What are the disposal methods? Nobody cares about the impact in the society or in our environment. So in this way, the e-waste that has been generated is affecting the environment in a negative way. So this way, we are looking at how to mitigate this, and not only disposing them, but also integrate them into our technology use and make it count for better instead of counting for negative way.
Thank you very much, sir. So you told us how it affects us environmentally. How do all of these affect business operations in our locality?
All right, thank you very much for that. We have a market problem. Just talk about the environmental problem. Now, what is the market problem? how does it affect different businesses? So in Nigeria, telecom sector and IT sector, we face a lot of critical structural challenges because of this always trying to meet up with trends. We have the high CapEx. When the OEM, their equipment, when you want to get it, they demand a heavy upfront. You don't have a choice. In this way, you have to meet up with that high OpEx. It strains your network. It strains operators' enterprise budgets. Strains your budget because of that high CapEx that you need to, in order to make sure that you make provision for your IT and telecom equipment, you have to get them. No, maybe second-hand place that you can get and already use one that can be refurbished and using their system, and that will still give you the same quality of service. So you must go for that new one. So it strengthens your CapEx. Apart from that, we talk about FX volatility. Now, imagine you have a project that requires, let's say, 100 units of, let's say, router devices. Now, you have, for your budgets, you have already made your budgets with the FS conversion rate of, let's say, 1,000 per dollar. Because of the volatility of the markets, within 1 week, it comes to 1,300. What do you think will happen to your budgets? You don't be able to meet up with it. You have to wait. And if you want to continue, you cannot meet up with 100 units. You have to request for additional budgets. In this way, what happens to your project? It stores your project, it slows down your project. And when the project is slowed and not meet up with the deadline, it affects the income of the company. So it is a challenge that businesses are facing in our locality. We also have the long lead time. Yes, we have the OEMs that are not present in the country. We are trying to get these devices from them. Even when you have the capital to get these devices, how long does it take for them to process it and send them to our country for you to make use of them? So, but if we have kind of refurbished devices in the market locally, you'll be able to get these devices when you need them. You get them without waiting for the long time of processing it, custom duty, and the rest of all those things. Your project is going. You make use of them when you need them, not waiting for some weeks, some months before you'll be able to get the devices for your projects. And we will talk about no quality second-hand markets, secondary markets for those devices. So because we don't have any certified refurbished equipment plants locally, is affecting the rate of refurbishing these devices and bringing them back to the market. So in all these challenges, they form a cycle of high costs. We have high costs, we have high risk, and operational inefficiency because of these market problems that I just mentioned. So in general, it's creating a clear market gap that the renewed solution that we have is built to fill up.
Thank you once again, sir. You just mentioned renew. Please, do you mind telling us what that is about?
All right, thank you so much. From the name renew, you can get what it is, making something anew again so that you can make use of it. So it's a Zoracom's comprehensive solution for managing technology assets that have reached or about reaching their end of life. Every device, every tech device, electronic device has a kind of a span of years. That's okay, this what it will be in the system. Then the OEM say we are not supporting it again. We go to the next version. Then people go to the next version with them and continue to use their devices with the support. So, but in essence, what we're talking about, we help organizations extend the life of the IT and telecommunication equipment through a professional repair, refurbishments, and the lifecycle management system. So in essence, we can call it a smart approach to technology sustainability, putting the devices into the network in a professional way. So that is what we at Zoracom put together and call it Renew.
Thank you very much again, sir. That's very interesting. So now, how can organizations maximize the value of their lifespan of their technology assets instead of replacing them prematurely?
Yeah, organization can do that by keying into this Zoracom Renew. When you key in with this Renew, you'll be able to maximize the lifespan of your telecom and IT equipment. Now, Renew, how does it work? You know, when you have your telecom devices decommissioned from your network infrastructure, what you do, you discard them or you dispose them. But from Renew, what we do is that instead of disposing of them, we collect those devices from you. When we receive them, we manage them. We have a standard warehouse where we, sort these devices out. When we sort these devices according to the type of devices there might be customer premises equipment, there might be telecom equipment like router devices, there might be internet equipment. You have your modems, you have your laptops, your TV, your power devices, no matter the type of devices. So we sort these devices out. When we sort them, we have our standard testing equipment where we go, we test these devices and know, okay, these ones are equipment damage. What's happened to them? We'll be able to find out the issue with these devices. Then we find out the ones that get into the end of life period. Now, when we sort this out and know exactly what the issue is with these devices, we repair these devices. We have well-trained technicians that take care of these devices, no matter the issue. We repair these devices. After repairing the devices, we have disagreements with the OEMs that we can reload their firmwares and also, rebrand them, make them look and clean them up, and test them according to the global accepted standards. We test the devices to meet up with that global requirements. When we ascertain, the quality control team ascertain that yes, these devices are okay and ready to go back into the society, then what do? We put them into the secondary market. And sometimes, because of the agreement we have with the vendors or the equipment owners, we put them back to their network, and the cycle continues. Then the ones that are not kind of refurbished, the ones that are mostly damaged. Yeah, we have third-party vendors that we work with that can make use of those devices and dispose them according to their kind. So this is what we call Renew, getting your device, know what the issue is, fix it, and put it back into the network instead of disposing it not in a professional way in our environment.
Thank you very much once again, sir. So this question is for our viewers. If you have outdated equipment that could be refurbished and reused, why not partner with Zoracom and renew it? So, Mr. Lucky, back to you. How have strategic alliances helped Zoracom to achieve the goal of this redeem?
Yes. Most times when you want to do a very big project, you partner with some other organizations that have the technicality in order to do this. So in this Renew business, we have a strategic alliance partnership with Miro. Now, Miro is a global recognized leader when it comes to telecom and IT infrastructure lifecycle management. They operate in South America, part of Europe. So they have records of managing this equipment. So it's not something that is new to them. So we have a very strong partnership with them in doing that. So because of the partnership we have with them, we have this certified quality assurance framework that we have with them when working with on these equipments. So we have this globally benchmark inspection grading and the refurbishment process, ensuring that every action we take or every operation we take on this device, that they meet the strengths, the reliability and quality standards generally accepted. So make sure that what we are doing is not what we work only locally here, we not work anywhere across the globe. So it's industry accepted, accepted standard. That's what makes this work anywhere. And also because of the partnership we have this proven technical process and standards. So we have access to proprietary methodologies for hardware diagnosis, repair, and testing. This guarantees OEM alignments, because this will make sure that what we are doing aligns with the OEM standards, because what we are working is their devices, we are working on their devices must align with their standards. So this agreement helps us to have access to that and work with that. And also what of the skill I talk about, I discussed about before, the skill set of our technicians. Yes, this alignment with them, this alliance with them has helped us to have that quality skill in order to make sure that these devices are handled in accordance to the standards that is acceptable. And also locally here, we have NESRA certification, that is National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency, that's NESRA. So with this certification that we have, it authorizes us to handle and transfer e-waste materials to our third-party vendors for the final appropriate disposal. So this partnership alliance is put us in a way, in a position that, yes, we have what it takes to make this happen in the local market.
Thank you once again for that, sir. So I know that there are benefits. So please, do you mind telling us the benefits organizations stand to gain by joining Zoracom's renewal projects?
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, we have benefits for that, for doing that. We have the environmental benefit and we have the economic benefits. Now, when you talk about the economic benefit, talk about low equipment replacement costs. Instead of going to maybe Asia or UK to sell those devices to repair and come back, they cost and time. We have it locally here. We can do it with you. And that's low, it costs the cost of making that happen outside the country. So you have your devices working with a lower cost. We also have extended asset value. Yes, your device that is okay, this one is no longer working now with studies. We can make that go back to your IT or telecom infrastructure life cycle by renewing it and putting it back inside your network. We also have reduced maintenance expense. Yes, the rates of maintaining it here is lower than getting a new one, and also the average maintenance cost, the annual average maintenance cost will be definitely go down. Also, we have a budget utilization. Yes, when you have your budget, you are not afraid of the dynamic effects issue that we have. The exchange rate issue is this amount today, this amount tomorrow. No, because we are dealing locally, we are dealing with it locally here, and we have dealing on local currency. So we're not talking about what is the exchange rate today. And also we have improved operational efficiency. When customer is waiting for you to kind of give him the needed support, you are writing a way to the OEM is sending equipment. I have to wait for it to come and go to the work, clear it, and the customer is waiting. Sometimes it affects our relationship with the customer. The customer might have another option. In such way, we lose the customer, the income, the revenue is affected. So these economic benefits. Now we talk about the environmental benefits, the e-waste. The amount of e-waste that is generated annually or quarterly is reduced, because instead of dumping them in the garbage dump, renew it and put it back into the system. So it reduces the e-waste, the amount of e-waste generated, and also low carbon emission. Those things that we throw about, they contribute to the pollution rates that we have in the environment. So when we key into this review, we contribute to the low carbon emission in the environment. And also conversion of raw materials. Yes, this helps us to, because when we key into this review, we put these devices into the system, but the ones that cannot be renewed, as I said before, because of the agreement we have with third-party vendors, these devices, other components that are these devices, we extract them and use them for some local productions. So this is one of the ways the environment is benefited. Instead of discarding in a negative way, the environment is benefiting now. The local industries are also benefiting. And also we have reduced the demand for new manufacturing. Most times when we are craving for these new things, getting new one and studying the old ones, the manufacturers are put under kind of a strength manufacturer, always trying to bring up new things. But when we are renewing what we already have, recycling it, that pressure on manufacturing sector will be reduced, and also promotion of circular economic principles. So this way, both the environment and the economic part of the benefits are something that we cannot emphasize at any point in time.
Thank you very much, sir. Those are very good benefits. But aside from those benefits, are there any more reasons for organizations to choose Renew?
Yes, we have reasons to key into this Renew program with Zoracom. We call it the Zoracom Advantage. So the Zoracom Advantage, we have like 4 of the Zoracom Advantage that if you don't remember that, remember these 4 program advantages. We have the reliable, because when you bring in your device for device, or when we accept your device for renew, know that we have the professional experts when it comes to IT and telecom equipment management. So we are reliable, we have the expertise, and we have the technology and the equipment to manage this. That is assurance that we are giving you as an organization. We also have, we talk about the sustainable. Yes, this program is sustainable. It's focused on reducing environmental impact. That is one of the big agendas of Zoracom in venturing into this, making sure that we have a positive impact in our environment, and also it is cost effective. We help organizations to maximize technology investments. Yes, when you key in this, you benefit this, and also we have the future focus. In this way, we enable organizations to meet environmental, social, and governance goals. So with these 4 key focal points that we call the Zoracom Advantage, is a very strong reason for you as an organization to key into this renewal program with Zoracom Communications Limited.
Thank you very much, Mr. Loki. We really enjoyed your insight and perspective on this topic. But if I were to summarize everything we've said today, you've told us that sustainable technology starts with renew, and that technology does not have to automatically become waste simply because it has reached its end of life status. With Renew, organizations can now extend equipment lifespan, they can minimize environmental impact, they can also support sustainable goals and contribute to a circular economy. Yeah. So Renew helps us to build a greener future one device at a time.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Mr. Loki, for this perspective and for joining us today. So we have questions in our chat. One of the questions are, does your organization currently have a formal end-of-life asset management strategy?
Yes, thank you for that. We have that. Our observability solution will help you to discover these telecom and IT devices. And when we discover them, we are able to manage or monitor their end of life. We help you to manage these devices, and we also let you know when these devices are getting to their end of life. And when we have such management, be able to keep you notified before it happens. So our Miro observability solution is there to help you to discover all your devices and then manage your end of life process of these devices. Yes.
Thank you very much, sir, for answering that question. Another question is, would your organization consider certified refurbished technology if it meets global quality standards?
Yes, I mentioned it before. Whatever we do, we don't just get devices and put them into the market. We have to meet with that global accepted standard. Our quality of service is there. Yes. So once we get this, once we work on the devices, we test the quality control. We test the quality. With the quality control team, we test and confirm that yes, it's accepted. If it's not accepted, we go back to the lab and work on these devices before we are able to push them into the market for customers to make use of them. Yes, we accept that.
Thank you very much again for answering that question. So I hope those questions were answered to the satisfaction of the questionnaires. So thank you very much again, Mr. Lucky, for joining us and sharing your extensive insights on this very topic. And thank you all for joining us today. So for you to stay connected with us and up to date with our latest news, you can access us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and X. And if you have more questions and you'd like to request a demo with us, you can feel free to contact us at info@zoracom.com. So thank you for your time and participation, and we hope to see you next month as well. Thank you very much, and bye.
Thank you.